Hey everyone, my name is Taylor Bryant and I'm a speech language pathologist here at Emerge Pediatric Therapy. I recently had some training in the Orton-Gillingham Approach for reading intervention. And so in working with kids with reading, I've been thinking about everyone at home and ways that I could support you during this time. So I have some things I would like to share with you. First of these is an embroidery screen. I really want to talk about letter formation and ways that we can work on that with children while we're at home during this time. So an embroidery screen is rough and kind of bumpy. It's flexible. It's if you drag your finger across it, it provides a pretty rich sensory and tactile kind of feedback as you're running your finger across it. And what I really like about it is if you have a child who's prone to letter reversals, you can put the screen across letters that you have written for them and give them practice finger writing the letters, such as a B, and they're getting that tactile feedback and practicing in a successful way repetitively, and really just gaining just some more connections to letter formation other than what they would be doing with a pencil. Another tactile material I like to use is a really rough washcloth. Those you might be able to find at home. The rougher the better because it provides more of a sensory experience, but you do the same thing. You can say, okay, the letter is B. I want you to write B, and have your child, put this down in front of them and finger write the letter B. Another way you can twist it up is you could use maybe a kitchen sponge, preferably unused, and you could give them a sound. Say k. Okay, what letter goes with k? C. C goes with k. Or K. K goes with k. Okay, and so those are also things that you could use to begin working on this finger writing skill. We also use sand in the clinic. Colored sand is really entertaining for kids, but any color sand will work just fine, as well as things like lentils, rice, any kind of dried bean or pea of any sort would work really well for this, because your child can trace the letter you call out in the sand and then shake it and have a new surface to write again, and they can also see what they are writing a bit better. So to add a visual component, this would be a really great activity to practice letter formation. And then another way to keep your child successful, if you're noticing they're having some trouble independently forming letters, is to make the letters for them out of like pipe cleaners. So you could, that way they have this letter already prepared for them, it's already directed the correct way down on the table, and all they have to do is trace with their finger. A great way to practice also the letter sound correspondence while they are tracing and practicing the formation is to just practice repetitively. A says A says and similarly, you can do it with all kinds of letters. Is pretty applicable, and if you are able to direct them and face it down on the table the way the letter is supposed to be directed, that makes the activity errorless for them. It gives them a lot of practice, and with that, and while feeling successful, as I mentioned earlier, and it also activates that other part of their brain that is receiving that sensory information and where their finger is in space, and adding that to the loop that they have going in their brain. A says and having that all collapse together is really helpful. So I hope that these kind of materials could be helpful to you guys as you're thinking about ways that you can adapt your lessons that you're receiving from teachers to help your kids and at whatever level they're at. I think this could be applicable for spelling rules, for other kinds of more advanced things like blends, or maybe like LEs at the end of words, or vocalic Rs. You can really take these materials and apply them to pretty much any spell. So I hope that was helpful. Share with me, since I know you guys are so creative, some different ideas that you guys have for using materials that could provide some tactile input. I would love to hear what you guys have used in the past or what you're using now, what your OTs may be using with you, because the sky's the limit, really. One more thing I wanted to cover before we finish our video today. I wanted to share 5 reasons you shouldn't wait to start reading tutoring. The first reason is that it takes 4 times as long to intervene in the 4th grade in reading as it does in late kindergarten. So brain development wise and content wise, when you put those together, the brain isn't quite as receptive to that kind of learning in 4th grade, and the remediation is more difficult. And then also there's so much greater of a demand in terms of the content. So there's that kind of pressure and that we're up against. Secondly, finances, which are related directly to the first reason. If it takes 4 times as long to remediate the reading difficulty that your child is having, that's 4 times the amount of money you will need to spend. And so we want to make sure that we're trying to get clients in as early as they can to help you guys, because we want you guys to be able to independently help your kid and give you the tools and them the tools to be successful as early as possible with the least amount of investment on your part. The third reason is that we can reliably predict as early as age 3 whether children are going to have reading difficulties. So verbal working memory, phonological awareness, letter knowledge, all of those things are indicators that a kid could struggle with this. Anywhere from 40 to 80%, which is a gigantic range cited in our research. We really need increased research on this, but 40 to 80% of children with speech sound disorders have difficulty reading later on down the line. And then our 4th reason is that in 3rd grade, your child will be expected, instead of learning to read, they will be expected to read to learn and to access the social studies, science, and math materials. They will need to be able to use their reading skills. And if reading is a barrier for them, that will prevent their ability to access the curriculum and affect them globally, which we want to prevent as much as possible. And lastly, not my favorite opinion, not my favorite reason, but what I feel is the most important reason is that this directly affects your child's confidence. And you just have to ask yourself, does my child believe they can be successful while reading and completing academic work? It's one of the greatest joys in my life to help parents bring that confidence to their child and to see their child just really realize their own capability to complete everything that's being asked of them in an academic realm that once seemed terrifying or anxiety-provoking or just frustrating. So I hope that these are some reasons that you can reflect on, and if you have any questions or would like any support, please contact our office and I'll be happy to speak with you. We are offering reading tutoring and have availability and are accepting new patients and clients. So thank you so much for joining me today. Take care.